Oh boy. Oh boy. It is going to be interesting season. Just thinking where to start. Well, let's just start with my prediction. I'm gonna predict that we will make the playoffs. I know there's been a lot of Debbie Downing negativity, and rightfully so, with Reynoso being out. Hello. I actually don't think my mic's working. Maybe it is. I'm gonna just double check that. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone, make sure we can hear it. We can hear it. Okay, yeah, we can. Sorry, for some reason I haven't been on in a long time, obviously, and while you're streaming, it usually shows your mic's moving, and it's just not right now. So I know it's working though. So I do think we're gonna make the playoffs. I'm gonna say 7th, but realistically, it could be a really rough season. I think we'll overperform. I think Ray might come back, and I think realistically, if Ray does come back, we'll easily make the playoffs. But that's kind of just the big elephant in the room. What is going on with Emmanuel Reynoso? There's obviously some personal things going on back home. He obviously didn't show up for preseason and was suspended by the club. Apparently hasn't talked to Adrian Heath, has been in contact, and Adrian's only been in contact with his brother and I believe his dad or something along those lines. And apparently today it came out that Ray was texting some of the guys wishing him luck, and I don't know how you take that as a teammate. Obviously, you wish well for your teammates. You want them to have no personal issues going on, but you'd probably be disappointed to see that he hasn't came and shown up for the squad, and that's just the way things are right now, I guess. Whatever personal issues are going on, it's just weird that the timing's just really weird with him signing a contract right before he left, or last year, and not. So it's really head scratching, and for the time being, we're gonna have to just move on without him. And yes, we want Ray back. Yes, we definitely need him back with our squad depth and our lack of big name signings this summer, in my opinion. A lot of swings and misses on players we were after. Couldn't quite convince them to join our project. And that's got to lie on the front office. Unfortunately, we should have been a lot more active in the window in the summer. I know we have time to bring some players in, but I can't see us bringing anyone in that's going to cause too much of an impact right now. Maybe in the summer when the summer window opens, but like I said, I do think we're going to make the playoffs. And the only reason I'm saying this is because of the new playoff format is absolutely ridiculous, with like the top 9 teams making it. And yes, we might stink sometimes, I think, but I really don't think it's that hard to make the playoffs in the MLS. I really don't. I mean, it shouldn't even be a bare minimum now with the new playoff format. But yeah, I don't think we're going to have a stellar season or even be sniffing towards the top of the West like a couple of the seasons recently. We've made pretty big runs to kind of knock on the door to the top 4-ish, but we always seem to just be kind of in the middle of the playoff pack. And this year I think we could just barely sneak in the playoffs right at the bottom or something, maybe be a wild card, which would stink, because of the extra game or whatever. But that's just kind of how I see it as my prediction. I don't want to be too negative going into the season. That's just not the way I am. But I am going to bring up concerns about us going into the season. I don't think we're sitting good at all, really. So, yeah. And the Reynoso situation is baffling. We just want him back as soon as possible because it's one of our DPs not being able to play leaves a huge hole in our attack. And yes, some other players might get more opportunities with the ball and more shots because Ray might not have the ball. Obviously, Ray won't have the ball as much, not being there, but still, Ray brings out the best in people. He creates so much. It's a huge loss, and we just really need him back. Yeah. I'm going to go into the roster. We're going to start in the goalie department. Couple young goalies and Fred Emmings, homegrown. Obviously going to be playing a lot for MNUFC 2 probably. Maybe get in some friendly games. Potentially. I don't see him playing in like an Open Cup or anything quite yet. I think he's maybe a little bit too young and raw. I'd like to see him go on loan maybe somewhere before. I mean, I definitely want him to be playing for MNUFC too, but it'd be nice to send him on loan to like the USL. I really think that playing against grown men week in and week out it definitely helps a player, especially young players. Eric Dick, I think, might get a little bit of chance in the Open Cup. We remember him last year from our unfortunately horrific loss to the Union Omaha in the Open Cup at home. Eric had an unfortunate error in that game, but he's a very positive guy, it seems like, super happy, really likes to engage with the fans, and I'd like to hopefully give him maybe a shot in an early round of the Open Cup, but yet again, we don't want to have the same mistake and get knocked out early because, I mean, we all love a cup run. Playing more games, playing different opponents, always a fun time, and we're all longing for that trophy to maybe one day get back into that final and maybe win the damn thing. So, another trophy from back in the day. We haven't won anything since being in the MLS. So those are our two young goalies, and we're going to get into a little bit the elder squad with Clint Irwin. It's a new signing. It was a free, I believe. We know him well from Colorado. He's had some really good games against us, and I think Clint will definitely push Dane St. Clair. I think he'll give them a little bit of just, there is someone who can replace me, not because if we didn't bring someone in, no offense to Eric or Fred, but they're just not quite ready to be knocking on Dane's door at all by any means, because Dane is by far going to be our starting goalkeeper to start the season. But I could see Clint, maybe Eric doesn't play in the Open Cup and Clint gets a game, Clint Irwin. I could easily see that, or getting the League's Cup games, But I do think Dane will play 90% of our games, if not more. Just kind of throwing out some situations, and obviously, so our starter is going to be Dane, by far best goalie. Could easily be going to Europe in the future. In my opinion, I think he's a class goalie. Young, definitely had the upside. Unfortunately, we lose Tyler Miller in the offseason. I was unlucky not to get anything out of that situation, but we move on. So that's our goalie core for the year. Now we can move on to the defense. I'm going to start with a new signing in Daniil Henry, who played a lot. He's played a lot in the MLS most recently at Toronto FC. And I think that's a good thing. We, due to last year with the center back injuries and the lack of depth there, I think we really did address that this summer. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, we swung out on a couple forwards that we were missing. We went after some South Korean players. One played in the World Cup, scored some goals. One playing in Nottingham Forest. We went after a Celtic player who's Greek, plays in Greece, or plays for Greece. It was just really, really disheartening. Every single link, every single exciting transfer, we would get the cold shoulder from the player. They didn't really kind of want to buy into our project, which you can't force someone to, but it was just, I really wanted to get the young South Korean who had scored a couple goals, and it looks like he'll probably be leaving in the summer. He was playing at a South Korean club in the K-League. So, yeah, the lack of big name signings definitely hurt. But we'll go back on to Daniil Henry. I think will be a good filler piece in the back line. Unfortunately, won't be healthy for the game at FC Dallas, but if we do have an injury to someone, I think he'd easily fill in and be a good, adequate center back. Miguel Tapez, I believe, will be a huge, crucial part. I think he'll be starting tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get to see him. His contract was terminated by Besiktas. I did see some reports that we already had signed him to a pre-contract on a free, and that apparently there might have been an exchange, a little bit of money for them to terminate his contract. Nothing serious. It was maybe a couple million, or that's what it's saying on the OneFootball app. So not sure. You really don't really know. There's not a lot of transparency in transfers nowadays, and I don't really like that. I used to like back in the day where they're very transparent on the numbers and stuff. That was most clubs. Some clubs can not be, and MLS does an awful job of being very closed doors until certain times in the season where their rosters and salaries come out and stuff. So yeah, Miguel Tapez, I think he'll be a huge part. Another center back, adding to the back line, a young center back. So that's good, huge. Mikael Marquez from Sweden, playing in the Swedish league. Young, apparently very versatile, can play some defensive midfield positions, but he can also play center back. I think we'll see. I think he's probably pretty raw. I don't think we didn't pay too much for him. And it'll be nice to see what he's got. I'm excited to see what he's got. But again, another young addition to the back line, which is crucial to what we needed. So right there, that's 3 additions from our offseason. Zarek Velatini, Puerto Rican right back, I believe. Gonna help maybe with DJ Taylor. Him and DJ Taylor would probably be fighting for some spots. Last played for Houston, I believe. I've seen a lot of him. He's played well against us at times, and so yeah. I think it's a good squad piece, MLS veteran. You need a lot of those because we're going to be in a lot of competitions. There's going to need to be some rotation throughout the season in some competitions, the U.S. Open Cup, Leagues Cup. They might add another competition. Who knows? With what's going on nowadays and the way the off-season playoff format works out, it adds a couple more games. So, and then now we're getting to Alan Benitez, who today his contract was just terminated. So that was interesting. Bombshell. We thought they were going to make some moves, but not those kind of moves. But it does open up an international roster spot. Maybe they're angling to go get someone or something. I'm not quite sure. I don't think he maybe quite settled down here. Defensively, I thought Benitez was quite lackadaisical, not very good. But going forward, he could put a hell of a ball in, seemed to have a lot of chemistry with Amarilla, who we still have. So I don't understand why this move seems a little bit weird to me, and I don't quite get it. But a lot of the things our front office does, I don't quite understand, which is getting frustrating at sometimes. But I'm not a part of the front office, so I'm not going to really get into that because I am just a fan. But we do know some stuff, like we should be able to voice our opinions and whatnot. So Debasi is recovering from his injury, won't be ready for the start of the season for the FC Dallas game, but I believe he's trending upward and onward into a good trajectory. So hopefully he gets back soon. We're going to need him slot right back in with Michael Boxall. Brent Kallman's still part of the team. Nice to have a veteran guy who knows the club with a lot of these new center backs coming in. Maybe he'll get the best out of Kallman. I think he's been kind of just that third spot's been locked down as his for a long time. And I think that he's going to get a lot of run for his money because I believe Miguel Tapez is and maybe even Neil Henry is a better center back. We'll have to see what happens. I think we should have moved on from Kallman a while ago, but he does put in a pretty good shift once in a while. I'll definitely give him that. He definitely here or there does play well, but he also the league's getting better and better, and I don't think he's not getting better and better. Getting older, but yeah, Minnesota boy. So Michael Boxall, club captain, club legend. Happily that we have him. Just had a nice, cool little piece on him on Apple TV with the new Apple TV deal with MLS. They have a lot of cool content coming out, which so far I've quite enjoyed. We'll see how well it continues to work. Some people are iffy on it, but we'll see how well the Apple TV deal works. Devin Paddleford, young defender. We had him last year. I don't think he'll play too much, maybe an Open Cup appearance here or there, playing a friendly. DJ Taylor will be playing a lot at right back, I believe. I think he definitely proved last year that he's got some stuff, and I think this year he'll make another leap forward. And then Kamar Lawrence, we know Kamar Lawrence, we know what he's got. He's just running down the left flank, 92. I love that he's got that weird number 92 for a player. But yeah, that's going to be our defensive back line for this season to start so far. So definitely added some pieces, thankfully. Definitely some departures, as we talked about. I mean, O'Neal Fisher gone, and a couple other players as well. We re-signed Joseph Rosales, thankfully. I thought that was a really good, smart move. I thought it was going to be very good for us cost-wise. I believe he wanted to stay. He's a very good off the bench, multiple positions you can play. I think he's a very impactful player when he does play. He's not our best midfielder, but he is very impactful when he does get his time, and he's young and he's learning, and maybe he makes it leaps and bounds and starts. We'll have to see what happens with all the competitions. We're definitely going to need him throughout the season off the bench in multiple games, multiple competitions. Franco Francopane. We know we got what we got with Franco. Hopefully, I'd like to expect a lot more assists and goals from Franco, and maybe with Ray being gone, he can kind of maybe take a little bit more shots, take a little bit more risks. It'll be interesting to see how him and Robin Lod are used now with Ray being gone. Be interesting to see how we line up. Might switch formations. I'm not quite sure. Then Manuel Reynoso is next, but we kind of already talked about him, so I'll skip that. Just wish him all the best. Hopefully he comes back. Robin Lod is going to be super crucial to us, by far our best player. Now with Ray gone, he'll have to be used in many different ways. I think in the midfield, the attack, and all over. So we're going to need a big season from Robin, and hopefully he can deliver. We might be asking a little bit too much, so I'd hope we make some roster moves to help out the attack for sure in the midfield. Will Trapp, back for another season. He's there. He's here. He's everywhere. Will Trapp. Sorry, just didn't want to swear unnecessarily, but excited, super excited for just to give it another go. I don't know if it's the right move, but he's a nice guy. Good captain when Boxall's not there, so it's good locker room presence. I think he's fine. And I'm gonna be honest, I was not too keen on the move at first, but I think it's worked out pretty well. Sonny Dotson's back, which is nice after the ACL injury last year. We just hope he will be available for FC Dallas and the FC Dallas game, and we're just gonna see what he's got, because an ACL injury can take a lot out of you. So hopefully he's got enough in the tank and everything for a full season. We'll have to take it slow, but we're definitely going to need some Hassani bangers if we're going to make the playoffs. And then Kervin Arriaga, we're going to need he started off the season very well last year, and he had his games where he played very well, but I think it was a very learning curve season for Kervin, and I think he'll even get better. I think we're going to need more goal contribution from him, I think. And that's for the whole midfield. I don't think we score a lot of goals from the midfield compared to, in general. We're going to need more goals, but I think we just need to chip in. I think he needs to chip in a little bit more. There's a couple of times where he'd rocket something off the post or get to a ball, header, and he just couldn't find the back of a net a lot of the games. So I'd like to see him score and assist a little bit more this year. Excuse me. Ugh. Oh, another defender, Ryan Jiba, I believe. Forgot to talk about him, but our first round draft pick, who we had to have a transfer free from Union Omaha, who we talked about earlier, knocks us out of the Open Cup. We decided that we're going to just draft one of their players, Well, obviously compensated for them, but he's a young player. Hopefully we see something from him. I'm not sure when we'll see something from him, as he also has an injury and won't be a part of the squad, I believe, for the FC Dallas game. Cameron Dunbar, who we traded LA Galaxy for Garber bucks, whatever, fake money, and I can't remember what the trade was for. I believe maybe we traded some draft picks too. Anyway, he's apparently been looking really good in training, impressing a lot. I really like the move. I'd heard about the kid before. See him play before. It was me. I'm sorry. Getting tired. But hopefully he gets some chances this year in some competitions, MLS games and whatnot, and we'll see what the kid's got. I'm excited to see what he's got. Luis Amarilla, going to need a lot more out of Luis. He talks about all these goals. Oh, score 25 goals. We just need 15 would be fine, So I'd like to see him finish a lot more chances this year, and I'm sure Luis would want himself to do that as well. Just coming as a fan perspective, we've been frustrated with his lack of production, I believe. Tani Lua Awasue. I'm sorry, I absolutely butchered his name. I'm going to just call him Tani. We drafted him last year, Canadian forward. He'll be part of the matchday squad tomorrow with Reynoso being out and stuff, so maybe he'll get a chance off the bench to show something. We'll have to see what the kid's got. We haven't really seen much of him. He's played for USL or MNUFC 2 a bit, I believe, last year. Bongi Halangaway, we love to see some more end product. A lot of the forwards, we love to see some more end product, and I think Bongi's got it. Learned the league a little bit last year, and yeah, I think it'll be a second season syndrome from Bongi. Hopefully, we'll see some more out of the kid, and I believe we will. Mender Garcia, who we got and we saw they didn't see too much of, but we got at the end of the summer transfer window right before the playoffs, scored some goals for us. I can't wait to see a full season under his belt. Maybe it's like a lot like Robin Lod, where start came for the first 6 months, it was just kind of hard to adapt real quick, and then that next season he was real good. Second season syndrome. It'd be lovely if we could have that from Menders and be our leading goal scorer or something. And then Patrick Weah, who's a young forward, hopefully get some chance at the Open Cup or something. Like a lot of the younger players are all going to be fighting for some chances off the bench in some of these competitions, but that's the squad. That is a squad. Definitely we need some depth in certain areas, I believe. Otherwise, we're going to be relying on a lot of kids. We need Reynoso back. It's very frustrating to see that we did address the issues at center back, I believe, but there are other areas where we could have maybe brought in some players, and we haven't. But getting to the FC Dallas game, I'm just going to kind of I'm going to predict that I think it's going to be a very rough game. I think we'll probably lose, unfortunately. I think it'll be like 2-1 or 3-1 we'll lose. I don't want to – I hate being down and not optimistic, but I just don't think we're quite ready. I think we started slow. I'm sure that tournament definitely did help. It would have been lovely if we could have watched the tournament, but due to the dumb Apple TV rules or whatever, we couldn't. I just would like to see – I really would just like to see a good performance start the season off, but I can't say that I expect it. I really don't. We'll just get into injury report. Dabasi out, Daniil Henry, Ryan Jiba, Mikel Marquez. So a lot of the back line's out, and then Ruminoso suspended. So yeah, a lot of the back line's out. So it's gonna be a rough game, I think, in my opinion. I mean, we'll still have Boxall, still have some of the other guys, and Miguel Tapez, and none of our starters are out, but we don't have options, I think. I'm not expecting a lot for this first game. And I think FC Dallas is a good team. I think they're good at home. I was at the game when we lost in the playoffs last year, so I'd love to get revenge on them. But it was really not revenge. It was just the start of the season. 3 points in the regular season isn't like getting kicked out of the playoffs. That shit sucks, man. Excuse my French, but that is it about the game. Apple TV, via Apple TV, that's how you watch. 7:30 kickoff, and a rumor is that the kickoff time is, or they do say 7:30 kickoff, and usually, how the kickoff would be a little bit after the TV time. Apparently, we're going straight at the kickoff time now. I'm getting yards for you guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, we just need to get more players through the door for all these competitions. We just don't have a deep enough squad, in my opinion, if we want to go far in all or some of the competitions. And I mean, I don't know about you or me, or I know about me, but I don't know about you guys. I want to go on a cup run to win the Open Cup. I want to go on a Leagues Cup. I want to get out of our group in the Leagues Cup. I want to make the playoffs. I want to go on a playoff one. I want to win a trophy. But that's going to be my season preview. If you have any comments, concerns, questions, shoot them in the comments. Try to get to them. Yeah. If you have predictions, put them in the comments. What are your thoughts on the Reynoso situation? What are your thoughts on the Benitez termination of the contract. Are we going after players because of that? Are they going to be even worth it to join the squad? Or are they going to just be filler squad players that aren't good? Because I don't want to go get shit players that are just bad because they're available to fill up roster spots. I'd rather watch some like Cameron Dunbar, some kids play, give them some chances, produce some talent, or help develop some talent instead of, getting some MLS veteran that's, pretty bang average, not very good. But that's just me. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking, saying anything, commenting, whatever. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Sorry I'm not making videos as much in the off season and stuff, but we'll be back at it for the regular season. Every match day we'll be making videos. So thanks for tuning in. As always, come on, you loons.